We are recording.
Awesome.
Yeah. How's life?
Okay. I honestly, it's pretty good. I had a busy weekend,
No.
which is a first for a while. I haven't really had a busy weekend, in a little bit, so that was nice. I actually auditioned for a play,
Oh, nice.
Sweeney Todd.
Like community theater.
So, yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be. We'll see if I get the part. I'm not really anticipating that I do, but it'd be awesome. Um,
What part were you looking for?
Anthony Hope,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that for you.
right? Right? That's what I thought.
Do you have any previous experience with like singing?
Yes, singing, yes, and I have more experience with singing than I do with like acting.
Really? I would not
Not
have
in
thought
any
that
kind of
considering your
professional grade, but
background.
I've done a lot of karaoke and I've had a lot of people tell
Oh,
me that I'm good at singing and I like to sing. So
come on, hit us with your audition song right now. We'll judge you on the.
Absolutely not. Hard pivoting to the piece of media
No, we're
that
not. We're not
I
even continue. You're not even trying to deflect. Ask about my weekend. We're just going straight
no,
into
fuck
the.
your week.
Yeah.
You literally told me before we started recording that you had a bad week. Do you want to talk about your bad week or do you want to ignore it like an adult?
Well, a lot of the badness was just at work. But in non, uh,
Was any of it funny?
I can't keep this in the video, but I want to send you a photo. This is going to be great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep this discussion in the video, but I will not
You're not
put
gonna
the
put the photo
photo
up.
in. So I'm just going to be
You have to put like a stock photo up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is this is what we were doing.
Uh oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Use your imagination. I was I was at a party this weekend, and we all got significantly drunker than we meant to. Which, to any potential employers watching this video, I am still an extremely reliable individual. I very rarely get drunk. This is not really, reflect poorly on my character. But I did have like a dozen drinks over the course of a couple hours.
Jesus.
And
Speaking of getting drunk at work, I'm gonna let you finish that, but then I have a funny anecdote to provide.
that's wonderful. Yeah. No, I was having the shakes a little bit. There was a period from
Oh
like at
fuck.
3:45 a.m. where I was like just in my apartment, like hands and knees on the floor, like trying not to fall asleep because I felt like I was about to vomit.
Oh my god. No, no, I've been there. This one time, I was at a buddy's house for like a New Year's party, and we all got blackout drunk and had shitty fried chicken, and I got food poisoning from the
Oh my
chicken.
god. Before that party, I decided to try. There's a Dave's Hot Chicken near me.
Dude, Dave's hot chicken fucks.
And I've never really had it before, but over the past couple weeks I've been having it. And I've been working my way up, and I wanted to try the Reaper. Um,
You are
yeah,
That's bold.
yeah. So what I did was I had the Reaper, and it was weird because it was not very spicy at all. All of a sudden, ramped up really quickly, extremely spicy, and then it stayed there for a couple minutes, slowly got a little bit better, and then just cratered. And like 10 minutes later, I was completely fine.
Yep.
It was a really weird experience because I was like, this isn't really that bad. And then for like 60 seconds, just like crying, snot running down my face, like, kill me, kill me, kill me. And
Yep.
then completely fine.
Yeah, it comes down to how fast you eat it.
Yeah,
The
I
fast
scarfed that shit.
Yeah, the faster you eat it, the easier it's going to go down. But at the same time, when you get into like that level of spice, your body just kind of gets confused and doesn't really know uh what to do. And so it panics and then realizes that it doesn't it yeah, it gets
I'm gonna
confused.
cut a huge chunk of this. This is bad.
No, 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 it's great. You got to keep it in.
We gotta stay on topic.
Um
But yeah, work is shitty, and we drink to forget, and that's the motto.
Based. But yeah, so drinking, I don't know. I don't know if like alcoholism is necessarily a deterrent for most employers. My girlfriend works at a restaurant as a server, and she was yeah, so she was working breakfast the other day, and she was telling me how she was working the bar at breakfast, and I'm like, oh, so it probably wasn't that busy then. And she was like, you'd be surprised, because apparently there's two kinds of people that go to the bar in the morning at like at a restaurant, not like a dive bar. It's like a
Yeah.
restaurant bar. There's people that are going to drink in the morning because they're going to drink in the morning, and it's exactly what it sounds like. And then there's the people that go there with their laptops and earbuds,
Oh no.
set up at the bar and work at the bar
Oh no.
and go to meetings while day drinking.
It's like the newer version of, the millennial with the MacBook going to the coffee shop and getting an iced
Yeah.
latte and working there. It's recession indicator. Now people are just going to the bar instead.
Yeah, people, and they're not ordering coffee, they're just ordering hard liquor.
I mean, you can you can do both. Like,
This is true. I'm a big fan of an Irish coffee.
yeah,
I
like
uh I, I make a mean fucking Irish coffee because I do it all
yeah, because you don't measure, you just pour for a couple seconds.
that too. But I make every ingredient, I guess except for the whiskey. But I think now, even now, I could say that if I used the brandy that I made in one, I could say that I could make an Irish coffee with all of the ingredients had been like made by me, because I'll make the whipped cream is really easy to make fresh.
Really?
You literally just take, it's like 1-to-1 heavy whipping cream and powdered sugar, and you just whip the shit out of it with the whisk for like 5 minutes,
Not a whip.
and you've not a whip. No, I guess you could whip it, but you'd need like 8 guys, and you'd need to like secure the whipping cream sugar mixture in some kind of fastened bowl, and you'd need to do it like Lord of the Rings movie intro style when they're talking about the rings and the dwarves around it with the 8 hammers and shit.
I was gonna say like the Casino Royale scene where Bond is getting like the rope smacked against his balls.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, so I'll like make the whipped cream myself, and then obviously the coffee I do myself, because I've found that the darker
You
what?
grind the beans. You don't like grow the beans, right?
No, I
Yeah,
don't
that
grow the
takes like a huge
beans.
amount of
I
infrastructure.
guess. I think the only step right now in my like coffee procedure that I don't do myself, that I could in theory do myself, is roasting the beans. That is a thing people do at home, and it bewilders me, because you can either get like machines that'll do it, and they're really expensive, like countertop roasting machines, or you can go the classic way and get like a little copper like container that you can like put the
You
coffee
pass
beans in.
160,000 amps through.
Yeah, and you put like a candle, or like you put it over the stove, and you put the coffee beans in, and you just like you manually spin it
Oh, really?
for like 20 minutes.
You got to get it on like a little spit or something and just sort of.
Yeah, to roast the coffee, because the deal with roasting is you're not trying to heat the coffee through like in it through like convection through the copper. You're trying to heat the air inside the container to roast the coffee, because it
Yeah.
does it more evenly, which does mean, in theory, you could do it in an air fryer. Well, I was gonna say like a mint tea with a bit of gin and a bit of like Jaeger.
Hmm. That actually
I
sounds
think
pretty good. I'd have to try that
that
at some
that
point.
could be an interesting combo, because Jaeger is like Malort but good.
I mean, have you had Malort?
Yeah,
Oh, really? Yeah, you
yeah. I
gotta.
have friends that are from Chicago. I've had Malort.
Yeah, I mean, it's a. I was gonna say national pride, but that's not true. It's municipal pride. Um,
It's yeah, if
uh,
you want to call that pride.
yeah. Well, you know what we're
The
gonna
woke
do? We've
agenda.
mentioned this, but off the We've mentioned this, and it's not been in a video, but I'm going to put it out here. If when we reach 100,000 subscribers, we're currently at 3, but it's going to happen. When we reach 100,000 subscribers, we are going to take a trip to Mongolia, right? And we're going to try and make our way. We're going to try and make our way across the fertile plains of Mongolia, et cetera, et cetera. But as part of that,
we're gonna book 2 flights and nothing else, and the flights are not going to be at the same airport.
But before that, we got to get a 50,000 subscriber, or maybe a 10,000 subscriber special, where we physically meet up again, because we have not. The last time that we met in person, we did a little bit of urban exploration in an abandoned mall and ate burritos. So I think we got to try and capture that energy again for the podcast. We got to get together. I'm going to make us a nice big pot of malicious brew, throw a little bit of Malort in there, and we're going to try and record an episode whilst under the effects of this concoction.
Oh God.
I am alchemy maxing right now. You know this about me. I am going to transmute lead into gold one of these days. I'm going to do it. I got my alembic set up. It's going to happen.
You're going to find the philosopher.
So if you are someone who is new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, and I think most of the population of Earth at this point is new to this channel, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, fucking do a little jig. I don't know.
Comment. I don't care what you comment, but comment on your alts too if you have them. Comments are great for the algorithm.
Post it on your Twitters or your Blue Skies or your digs
Maybe
or
I should
whatever.
start commenting on these videos.
What?
Maybe I should just start commenting on every new YouTube post, with my personal account.
This is a bad bit. We got to start the fucking episode. So yeah, speaking of Illinois, let's talk about Mr. Styropyro and his video that we're talking about today.
Oh yeah, the one and only Drake Anthony. If any of you have ever seen that meme where it talks about the correlation, the seemingly negative correlation between IQ and testosterone.
Between testosterone and IQ.
Yeah, what he said. This man is the outlier. He has so much testosterone that he actually can't grow facial hair. But goddamn, I've never seen anybody look better holding an 85-pound block of copper.
I do like the phrase, I went to my local construction site and picked up a bunch of copper. Pretty good phrase. Yes. I'd rank it at a solid B+. Up there with, I found an aquarium in the woods.
Which I fully believe that he found an aquarium.
The first one, I believe. All subsequent ones, I do not
Maybe
believe.
Not so much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think at one point he said, I had to go to Walmart to get an aquarium because I ran out of ones from the woods. But that wasn't when he was on his 4th aquarium. So,
he had gone through quite a few aquariums at that point.
Yeah, so we have this testosterone chart. Where are you on this chart?
I don't know either of those metrics about myself, so I would not be able to tell you.
I think you're probably in the same boat as Mr. Drake Anthony here. You seem like a high T individual.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's a bad bit. All right. So why don't you describe the conceit of this video for us right now? For the audience at home that's not watched this 2-hour-long video.
Let's go.
Do you want to say the title of it?
Yeah. Let's actually. That's a good
start. Yeah.
The title of this video is 400 car batteries wired together, ! In reference, this is actually technically a sequel to his original video where he wired 100 car batteries together. And before we go into the specifics of this video, I feel like we need to give a shout out to the people that made this possible. Because I just think it's funny that this company specifically is trying to become the Red Bull of YouTube science.
That's a good, yeah.
And that is AnyDesk. For those of you who have probably heard AnyDesk sponsorships before, but have probably skipped through them like any reasonable human being would. AnyDesk is a platform that all it does is let you remote into computers from other computers. Yeah, pretty much. And they, as a company, have been funding wild science projects from a collection of different YouTubers in hopes of gaining a kind of a rep for that kind of stuff. And so they actually paid for Drake's first 100 car batteries, and was like, do some funny shit like this. And that video was so successful that they reached out to him again and opened up communications for the possibility of acquiring even more car batteries for him. And included in the video is a short description of the final decision making process from that real company, which reads, and I quote, "Hey Drake, after a short internal discussion, we've determined, fuck it, we ball, and we will proceed with more car batteries." So pretty based company, if you ask me. Do you have anything to add to that? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
All right, were you like gone or?
I was not listening, no.
Oh,
I thought you were just going to be monologuing for a second. I didn't understand if you were asking me questions.
well, I did stop speaking for a second.
I specifically told you to keep talking.
I don't think you did.
Check your DMs.
Oh, I didn't look. Well, anyways, it's just gonna be a bit of silence that you can cut out.
Yeah, I was interested. I wanted you to keep talking because I was interested, like when I listened to it back, like what little nuggets of treasure you were going to leave for me. But
But no, I pretty much summed it up. I ended with like AnyDesk's little email that they left him.
yeah, I don't really
And
care much for AnyDesk because I don't. I've had to use remote desktop things for my work before, and that shit pisses me off.
yeah,
But it is what it is.
it
Besides
is what
that,
it is.
this video, I was normally with these sorts of videos, like if you're used to watching what are like some other similar YouTube science creators, like a Mark Rober or Michael Reeves, or hell, even if
Yeah.
you go to like a Mythbusters or something like that, they
Yep.
have usually more of a story that they sort of, not like a story, but they sort of tell the tale of like development and going through, and they sort of try and have, mini arcs, get the hero's journey in there, and it makes it a little more
Sure.
entertaining to watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
This one does not have this. This is
No,
two
this
hours of a
motherfucker
man
just said,
creating explosions in his backyard.
and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's just kind of like he was just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna go try and blow up this copper pipe, and he blows up the copper pipe, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna blow up this braided copper cable, and he blows up the braided copper cable, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can chuck a bunch of nuts and bolts into the air, and he does that, and it's like, I
Well,
mean,
he does spend a fair amount of
yeah,
time
yeah,
like
yeah, it's
going
not,
into the like the issues and like physical complications that he experienced when dealing with like currents this high.
yeah.
Like for any of you listening that knows what this means, I believe the peak current he hit was about 150,000 amps
He said
sustained.
160,000 at some points.
Yeah, 160 kiloamps sustained over like a second, which is insane.
I think the thing that he
Um,
was saying was other people have done larger like raw current on YouTube before, but he had a
yeah, but
much
never
higher
for that
impulse
long.
because of the way his setup was, so it led
Yes.
to the more violent results and the explosions.
Yep. Um, for the betterment of mankind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I mean the sheer like physical phenomena that he was able to achieve with this stuff is just bewildering to me. I mean, he made the equivalent of like a nuclear fission reactor startup procedure with car batteries.
God bless America.
That's insane. He had so much power running through a like single point in space between two copper blocks that it was creating what is known as a Z pinch effect, which is pretty much when so much energy is coalesced into a single point, it creates that plasma like lightning happens as the air has to conduct it because there's so much going through there, and then the magnetic field of the plasma is so strong that it forces it down into a small point. And he was basically like nuking the center of these two copper blocks every time he turned the thing on.
I am not very I'm not particularly skilled or literate in electricity and magnetism and just material science in general. So going through a lot of this, like I'm not super. I'm not at the point where I have the scientific knowledge to really predict what's going to happen with a lot of it. But there were a couple things that he did where I sort of sucked in my breath. Um, particularly when he was like, "Yeah, the clamp isn't closing. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to start welding these high tensile springs to the side of it." And I was like,
Yeah. I
uh,
mean, I think even he said in the videos that the electricity didn't scare him, but the springs did.
Yeah, that's very real. And then there was one where he had a fucking block of sodium metal that he was cutting with like hedge clippers.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and he
Oh
was just
yeah.
like packing sodium metal into a like blown fuse so that he could just run all the electricity through it. And I think I was also expecting it to be much more violent than it was. And I think he said the actual high conductivity of sodium might have actually worked against it because it kind of just went through instead of building up and actually making a bigger boom. It just sort of was like and had a little bit of smoke. But
Yep.
yeah, it's let me finish. Let me formulate what I'm trying to say. I've done some builds where we were joking about the safety squint. You don't need safety goggles. You just sort of like squint your eyes and it'll probably be
Or
fine.
like good old safety sandals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I do appreciate his safety tree, and I don't,
Oh yeah.
or I assume it's something to do with the slow motion cameras only being able to run for so long. But he was trying to capture slow motion of things exploding. But what he did was he would go start the startup procedure, turn on the camera, turn on the light, and then sprint back behind the tree as the clamp was like engaging to actually like start the spark. And
Uh-huh.
I I assumed this was the best solution, but I was like, what happens if you trip? Like if you turn on the light, the big flashlight that's being pointed at the tube that's about to get fried. You turn and you slip and you just eat shit, and then you just get sprayed with like liquid copper. Like what happens then?
You bad things. Although actually I know the human skin is particularly resistant to things like hot metal because of its moisture content. So like if if you stick your hand in hot metal, it's gonna you're fucked. But if you like I've seen videos of people like smacking streams of molten iron and being fine because the specific heat capacity of the water in your skin is high enough
As
to
long as it's not there for long enough, yeah.
to tank most of that damage over that short period of time.
It's just like when I put a bowl of instant ramen in the microwave and the bowl is super hot and I want to put it into my little like bowl holder thing. So I just wash my hands in cold water and then quickly grab it and put it in before it burns off.
Oh yeah,
Exactly like that. Same process.
exactly like that.
I did like his little squirrel friend that was just there for some reason.
Oh, that
Um,
was fun. I did. Yeah, she was great.
One of my
Little
coworkers
squirrel.
got bit by a squirrel a couple weeks ago, and she's been getting rabies shots um, for the past couple weeks. I just think that's a
Absolutely
funny story.
wild. Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of crazy shit was done in this video. And it's believe it or not, it's actually it's a little different than what he usually does.
Yeah, I've never seen his videos before.
He mentions in the beginning of the video that he's been uploading crazy science experiments on YouTube since 2006. So he's been doing this shit for over 20 years, right? And he hasn't gotten hurt. He knows what he's doing. Um and so the he most of what he does is actually stuff with really high powered lasers. He's been kind of known as the laser guy on YouTube. He basically like jerry rigged a laser from like Russian eBay parts to be able to turn shit like he made rubies with this laser of his, which I think is pretty crazy. So it's definitely a step in a different direction from his typical content. But very, very extreme science nonetheless, which is at the end of the day what we're all here for.
I I mean, I don't really have anything to say similar to our other reviews because it's just like, yeah, this was 2 hours of a guy struggling with the materials he was trying to use, giving out on him, and trying to make a big boom in his backyard. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. I mean,
This stuff doesn't just it just doesn't tickle your fancy, I guess, in the same way that it does mine.
yeah, this is
'Cause
real.
I love this shit. I love watching people just toy with what is possible for like the average person. Not that the average person normally has 400 car batteries, but I'd say it's not outside of the realm of possibility for the average person to, over the period of time, achieve a status of 400 car batteries.
This is still redneck engineering adjacent. Like, this is
Yeah,
something
which is
that
the best kind of engineering.
if my friends and I in high school were stupid enough and had access to this is something we would have tried and probably just killed ourselves. I mean, we did make I did like make a trebuchet before, so like if
That's
you're
always
a
fun.
bored kid in fucking rural middle of nowhere, like you do some weird shit.
Oh, for sure.
When I looked it up and saw that he was like in rural central Illinois, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, he wasn't always in this property throughout the history of his channel. This was more of a recent thing in the last, I think, decade or so. But ever since he's kind of started doing stuff in this larger plot with less neighbors, I think he made like a laser turret
Mm.
on his property, which is pretty cool. Um,
Demolished like children coming to trick or treat.
yeah, well, I don't think I think he's like that far away from people to where there are no like you'd have to go down like a several mile long driveway to get to his house.
Yeah, that's not
Um,
uncommon in those areas.
yeah, which is ideal in my opinion. Not exactly within the realm of trick or treatable.
Well, you'd be surprised. We did some. Well, actually, no. When I was a kid, we drove to other people's. We drove to another, much more suburban neighborhood to do trick or treating. When I was a kid, we didn't trick or treat at my place.
That's that's wild.
One of my friends was in. We didn't pick a random neighborhood. One of my friends lived in a very like traditional
Okay.
American
Okay, I was
suburbia
gonna say
place,
you're just gonna
and
have
so
your
we went
parents
with
drop
him.
you off
Yeah,
at the house with the biggest at the neighborhood with the biggest houses.
yeah. Drive to the fucking gated community there.
Yeah, trick or treat, get full size bars
Yeah,
at
get
every door.
the full sized Hershey's. Yeah,
Oh yeah, good shit.
yeah. But
Suburban maxing.
suburbia is fucking hell. I've lived in very rural areas. I've lived in very urban areas, and I'm fine with both of those. But like the fucking just endless rows of boxy houses is something that I
Yeah,
just
no.
hate on a very personal level.
I don't think there are very many people that prefer that.
Hell is a place on earth, and it's called Levittown. So if we go to, how do you think this holds up to other YouTube science classics like I don't know, like the Mark Rober squirrel video or any of Michael Reeves's videos, or I'm trying to think of other like big YouTube science things. I know Nile Red is a person on YouTube. I don't really watch a lot of his stuff. Nile Red was he the one who did pure Red Bull without the caffeine? Like, yeah,
Yes. He's the one that turned like a plastic glove into grape flavoring.
yeah, something like that. So like, how do you think this compares to like other YouTube science people?
Well, I guess this video specifically poses an interesting kind of conversation for that question because, as like I mentioned, Styro Pyro himself has historically been the laser guy on
Yeah,
YouTube, right? That's what he does. He makes lasers and he does stuff with lasers. And so it's he's always been like the laser guy, and a couple times he won't mess with like other stuff, and this is definitely his most extreme example of like playing with electricity and being introduced to like electromagnetism and the extreme kind of ends of it. And I think it's a different kind of video from what most people expect to see from a like Michael Reeves or Mark Rober type thing, because you mentioned in the beginning that it's very much so like those kinds of videos typically have a sort of plot to them.
Yeah.
Whereas this doesn't so much. The focus of the video is extreme science and like doing extreme science and testing the limits of what is possible with like uh modern hardware.
I think that's what I was thinking too. In terms of like science entertainment, this is not very entertaining. Does he post like more formal write-ups and like actual data anywhere, or is it just in the video itself?
I actually don't know. I
Because this
think
is not
it's
great.
just the video.
I wouldn't say this is great science necessarily, because I don't think a lot of this was very ad hoc and not really replicable. And he was saying stuff like, yeah, about 10 pounds of nuts and bolts just sort of scattered around. Like, I mean, he's not
Yeah.
trying to, this is not like an actual lab or anything like that. His goal is not to make like a paper for this. But I wouldn't say this is not like professional science necessarily. Not that it's trying to be.
Sure.
But it's also
Yeah,
not like a great YouTube video, because usually a lot of those abridge the science so that the science and engineering, so that they can just get to like the story and entertaining moments and stuff like that, and you can see it in action. Because real engineering and I mean, any sort of science in general is not glamorous. It is a lot of, like he says at the beginning, try shit and see if it works. And a lot of the times it doesn't work. Or it works kind of, but you need to go back and try a different thing. And this is something that gets cut out for the video because it makes for a more entertaining video, unless you're trying to work it into, again, make it into a narrative of, oh, this is the adversity that I'm overcoming, and then have a dip at the 2/3 mark of the video, but then we come back for a big climax. You know how it is. And it's just, I really just don't know what to say about this, because this was less like watching one of those videos, which is what I was expecting this to be, and more of, again, just watching a compilation of like people throwing copper-coated rocks at like high voltage electrical pylons. And it's like,
I don't know about you, but I could watch that.
Those are
literally
fun
all day.
for sure, but like for 2 hours, it's kind of like, I do appreciate how he was trying really hard to get like the crushed pipe at the beginning, or around like
that was his
through.
main goal.
That was his main goal.
And then he hit that, and he was like, "All right, let's see what else we can do."
And then in the later part of the video, after he hit the crushed pipe originally, he was kind of just hitting it casually while doing like especially during the magnetic induction thing, where he was just throwing like the ferrofluid or bolts and stuff around. Jesus, my voice is rough. I don't know. Do you have anything else of import or meaning that you want to discuss?
I don't know. I mean, I guess my hopes for this was that you would find the same kind of just like inherent interest in it, as I do in subjects like these in general. Because I mean, I could talk a lot about pretty much each of the things that he did, and just like the craziness and the implication of it, like the methods that he used to actually measure the amperage that he was pulling at the connection point, and like how he had to change what he was doing to get an accurate measurement, because he was maxing out the 20,000 amp Hall effect sensor that he was already multiplying by 4.
Yeah, I do like how he's just taking individual cables and then scaling them to get his overall current.
Yeah, because you can't measure, like, you can't just put the terminals between a big Hall effect sensor, it'll melt it.
Yeah,
Like, we've
that's
already
fun.
established in the context of the video that the kind of forces he's working with electromagnetically are in the realms of like several tons.
I don't know. I mean, most of my experience with electrical stuff is in the context of like computer engineering or small scale electronics for um, again, computers or hobby purposes, stuff like, model trains and whatever, because that's my main use for that. High voltage industrial level electronics is something that I don't know very much about besides having watched a few videos, and it's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I disliked this, but it was just kind of, it wasn't formally done enough for me to really value it as like an experiment log. But it also wasn't informally put together to be entertaining enough where it felt like a normal YouTube video. It kind of was just footage of a guy blowing stuff up in his backyard for 2 hours, which is fun for the first, like half hour or so, but it does kind of wear itself out after a while. Not to disparage the man or these accomplishments, and I'm sure his other videos are probably more, from what you've described, his other videos seem to be more in the vein of traditional YouTube science entertainment. It's just this video in particular was kind of just there.
It is definitely one of his longest videos. Outside of everything else, it is absolutely one of his longest videos. Um, but he's I don't know. When this first came out, I think this dropped a year ago, I believe, and I was sitting at my desk at home, like working from home, and I just stopped what I was doing and sat there for 2 hours and watched this and was absolutely giddy the entire time.
The top comment on this is, I was driving but pulled over to watch this.
Yeah. And I think the first like series of comments was just I saw this guy pulled off to the side of the road and pulled off with him to watch this, and it's just a
Yeah.
chain of that. I guess question that I do have on a
Yes.
scale of like tier 4 PPE to safety sandals, where would you rate his science machete?
Oh, the science machete. For context, he sometimes like the because the contraption that he has set up only works when the pieces of metal are like completely touching each other. Sometimes they'll get moved around by the violence of the detonation, basically, and they'll end up really close, such that they could re-engage at any time. And so he disengages it by smacking it with a safety machete after putting on like a suit. And I will say, the safety machete is probably, I don't know how many degrees this scale has from safety sandal to tier 4 PPE. We're saying like 10 steps, 5 steps. Like,
Yeah, I figure 10 steps is probably good.
I think where if we're saying that 0, or if we're saying that 1 is the safety sandals, I would probably put this at about like a 4 or a 5, because I don't want to call it safe, but he's wearing other protective equipment, and
He did
honestly, it's
have like
not.
a full arc flash suit on
I think the
while he
fact
is
that
attacking people.
I think the fact that the machete was metal itself is more worrying to me. I don't know how well that, if there is a possibility of it conducting, probably not, but like based on what we've seen in the video of ferromagnetic stuff getting like just thrown around, I'm not sure I would want to approach the machine that might turn into a giant electromagnet with a machete in my hand.
Oh yeah,
Just
wise is definitely not the words that I would use to describe what he was doing. But I think he did mention that there was like a good reason why it was incredibly unrealistic for the machete to end up like arcing the two. Plus he also always had. I mean, he's got the connection points that he was blowing shit up between, and then the dual like log splitter switch, which is a whole subject within itself.
there's much worse stuff on display in this video, and I think the actual risk is low. It's just the optics are really bad, and that's partially why I'm rating it. I'm gonna settle on like a 5 out of 10. Um, because I personally have witnessed and participated in much worse breaches of general workplace safety
Oh,
than this.
absolutely. I mean, shit. I was this one time. This was right after I moved into my house with my roommates in college, and the old people, like the people that had just left, had left an old lamp there, and one of the bulbs in the lamp wasn't working. So I went to, of course, unscrew the lamp, the light bulb. After having unplugged the lamp was unplugged while I was unscrewing the light bulb. And as I was unscrewing it, the bulb part just like snapped off. So it's just like the light bulb terminals were just exposed. So I was like, okay. So I was screwing the I was now like bare fingers on the light bulb terminals, and my roommate plugs the fucking lamp in.
Oh, Jesus.
So I just get a full 120 volts at 20 amps up my arm, and that was fun.
Hope you use your good arm to sock him in the face.
Yeah. No, that is a losing fight. He's like 300 pounds.
Oh, well, yeah. In that case, I forgot how frail and twinkish you are. We
I
both
am quite frail.
we both got soft hands in case it wasn't extremely obvious
Oh yeah, dude,
by
my hands are so buttery smooth with my double shot PPE fucking keycap keyboard. These
Jesus.
keycaps are about as smooth as my fucking fingertips, dude. It's so bad. Sometimes, like every 6 months, I'll get calluses again, because I'll have a fit of like playing the guitar for several hours a day every day for like 3 weeks.
Oh.
And then sometimes I also do rock climbing. So if those two ever happen at the same time, my hands are gonna get rough as fuck.
Well, honestly, it's very topical because just a couple weeks ago, I normally have a lot of calluses, especially along my palm, and along like the ridge of my palm. I'm not sure what the word is, but like where the fingers start coming out.
I, yes, I don't know what that.
But
Also
you
don't
know
know
what I
what
mean,
it's
like
called.
the very top edge of the palm, and
Yeah.
they started like sort of coming off a couple weeks ago, and like the last one was last week. There was this whole like ridge of a callus that just all came off at once,
Oh
um,
man.
and left like pink glowing skin underneath it, like that of a newborn calf. And
Literally baby skin.
I'm like, damn, I got soft hands again.
Yep.
But
Alas.
yeah, no, I mean, most of my violations in terms of PPE have been with like chemicals and stuff. Um,
Yep.
if you have like a laser cutter, um, you need to have proper ventilation, but you probably should be wearing some sort of protective gear with that as well. Because
Yeah.
for a period of a couple years, I did pretty regularly just hotbox myself with acrylic fumes. And
Ah,
I worked
yes,
at
I
like
do
a
recall you telling me about
yeah,
this.
I worked at a place that had a lot of like CNC and laser cutter stuff. And yeah, there's shit in my lungs and tumors in my brain, and
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to live with that.
Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
I had to
glad you
get
don't have a brain tumor.
yeah, I had to get an MRI of my brain, and it is fucked up because it had contrast, and when they put in the saline and then the contrast, you can taste it when it starts going in through the IV,
Oh,
which was a really
that's
weird
weird.
experience.
That I don't like that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Um,
like they put the saline in your brain?
no, they put the IV into my arm, but when they put the saline in and then the contrast later, it tastes like metallic and salty when they start like actually
Ah.
activating it. Because they put in the saline first just to sort of flush it and get the connection going, and then they do an MRI, and then they do a series of scans without the contrast, and then they put in the contrast and do a series of scans with that. And when they put in the contrast, it was really it. I can't even describe how freaky it is, even though it is just like, oh, you're tasting something that's not there, but it just felt really weird. Um,
Yeah, that sounds strange and unpleasant.
yeah. But besides that, I basically just fell asleep inside the machine, so that was pretty
Real.
good.
That's usually the best outcome for MRI stuff.
Um, I have no idea how much of that is going to remain in.
You don't want to talk about your brain tumor up on the internet?
My alleged brain tumor. I do have lesions in my brain, but apparently they're not like cause for concern, which sounds pretty damn concerning to me, but apparently they're small enough that they just want to monitor them, so we'll see. We'll see. But
All
besides
right.
besides that, how do we want to rate this?
Well, let's see. If we think about this, if we begin with the neo-isomorphism scale of it,
Yes.
if we think about this from like
Do you want to
the
explain the
most
scale? We should explain the scale. We
right,
get
we
tons
got
of
to
new
explain
people on all these videos.
every video we
Yeah.
get every video we get at least one new person that makes it all the way to the end of the video.
I can see the graph on
Um,
YouTube. I can see like the blue bar where people like click on and off.
oh, I know it's not great, is it? It's okay. One day,
One day.
one day.
Yeah, so we have the scale.
So
Okay.
yeah, do you want to do it?
I've been talking a lot. You talk.
Sure. Um, so we have this every episode.
Can you
We
do
take
that
a look at
again?
a
I
piece
didn't
of
get a
media.
chance to finish.
Man. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to go home.
I'm sorry.
I didn't like that at all.
I'm sorry.
That's so bad. You gotta keep that in.
Yeah.
I'm forcing you to keep that in as punishment.
Yeah, to my shame.
So every time we take a look at a piece of media, we have to rate it on a scale after we're done saying absolutely nothing meaningful about it for about an hour.
True.
And that scale that we use is a combination of two individual metrics. The two metrics being how relatable the piece of media is and how neo-isomorphic it is. This is episode what, 20, like 4?
28.
20, Jesus Christ. This is episode 28. So if you've gotten to the point where you're listening to me explain this scale and you haven't yet figured out what it means to be neo-isomorphic, I think you should reevaluate your decision.
Watch the entirety of the Neo-Isomorphism podcast, and then you'll get a sense of what it's like.
Yeah, you'll have an idea. But a lot of the issues that our friend Styropyro ran into in this video had to do with the intersections of two equivalent yet opposing forces. And I think there's a certain harmony to that in relation to the ideologies that we hold so near and dear to our hearts. And as you mentioned, this video is also the like a really weird in between of a science video on YouTube with a plot that guides the users through a mildly educational experience with an interesting subject and a short vine of a guy throwing a copper ball at an electrical wire.
No. A rock wrapped in copper wire thrown at a high voltage electric pylon.
Yes, yeah, that. Which actually makes me want to buy like a solid copper bearing and just toss it.
You know what? You do that, just don't implicate me in any way.
No. That's something that we're gonna do.
That's
Whenever...
our 10 subscriber special.
Yes.
We'll go to rural Illinois in the United States of America. Fucking chuck it.
Yeah, I like that idea. So I would argue that given the facts laid out in front of you, that this video is pretty darn neo-isomorphic.
So what number are you thinking?
I'm thinking like a high 3 or a 4.
Okay, I was gonna say 2 to 3. And my reasoning for that is it's a guy blowing shit up in his backyard, and as much as we've gone back and forth on whether or not that makes for good content, I would say that is an extremely neo-isomorphic thing to do.
Yes.
But I feel like you kind of have to commit to the bit a little bit more. Either this is a guy blowing stuff up in his backyard, but it's recorded very well, documented, his setup is very consistent, etc., or no safety protocols, just completely winging it. You know what I mean? I feel like you kind of got to commit to the bit, and this very centrist position on how real sciencey it is just kind of pisses me off. So,
Damn.
I don't know. I mean, I could do a 3, but I would not go 4 on this.
Okay. I can get behind. I think we can agree on a 3.
Neo-Isomorphism is about horseshoe theory of politics, except we want to be at the ends of the horseshoe. We don't care about which end, but like we want to be at the end. In fact, there might be a 1-to-1 correspondence between the ends of the horseshoe.
We don't care. You piece of shit. I thought my bit had no legs. You said that twice.
We're fading fast, man. We're fading
God
fast.
damn it.
How relatable is this? You did mention that this is something that seems kind of doable. Obviously, you need to get 400 car batteries, like it shows him retrieving them from the ocean, it shows him retrieving car batteries from the river. I feel like this is redneck engineering enough that this feels like this is not an elite bourgeoisie science video, right? Like this is a science video for the proletariat.
I resonate with the mindset that Drake Anthony was going through when he was doing this. As I feel I achieved something similar when I was wiring the PID controller for the reflux still that my friends and I built several years ago with used cut up HDMI cables and a 20 gauge extension cord that we got from Home Depot.
Did I show you the fucking did I show you the coax den?
No, but I do love some good coaxial cable.
This is not a very good story. This is probably going to get cut. I'm just going to leave the coax den as like an ominous thing that just does not get elaborated on.
Okay.
This. All right, how relatable is this? That entire previous thing is getting cut.
So, kind of building off what I was saying earlier, I think I relate heavily to this. I'd be willing to give this like a 2 or 3.
I think a 3 is also fair. Just because, again, like I said, this is something that if I had the resources when I was in high school, me and my idiot friends would have tried something like this.
100%.
I don't know. I agree with what you say. I have nothing
3?
else to add. I think a 3.
Baller. Okay. Well, would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? We have in our hands.
How true.
A perfect 0.
Yes, that is, in fact, the best score that we can give a piece of media.
Which I think is... Have we gotten a 0?
We've gotten multiple 0s. We have this discussion every time. I think we might have given a 0, like... No, we didn't give it last time. I think the last one we did was The Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
Yeah, because it was 1 and -1.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So...
We gave the one last week. 1 and -1.
Wait, what did we do?
East 1 and 2. I don't blame you. We didn't... Neither of us really played it, and we didn't really talk about it. That was a bad episode. At least we talked more about the video this time.
This is true.
All right, so do you want to hear what we're doing next week?
Yeah, what are we doing next week? What do you have in store for me?
On the subject of our choices for media recently, I think that we have been kind of been dropping the ball a little bit because we've kind of just been going more and more into things that we can't really talk about, and we've just we've talked a little bit about it, but we have not had the kind of discussion that we had, circa Now You See Me, Death Howl, even Parkour Civilization. We're not having like actual real discussions about things. And I want to bring it back, and I want to do maybe a first for this channel. I want us to watch an unironically actually good piece of media. Like critically acclaimed, Oscar, like Academy Award nominated movie, like that kind of thing that people actually unironically like, and that more importantly, we as people unironically like, the recommender, recommending something that they've seen before and that they enjoy.
Okay.
And so to that end,
I'm excited now.
I want to go back. We talked about Romeo plus Juliet, and I genuinely love that movie. And we also talked a little bit about other adaptations of Shakespeare for the modern day, or in different settings. We talked about Romeo plus Juliet, West Side Story, etc. And one of the ones that I brought up is Ron, 1985 by Akira Kurosawa, which is King Lear in 16th century Japan. And that is a good-ass movie. And that's what we're going to be talking about next week.
All right.
RAN, literally meaning chaos or tumult. You're not supposed to pronounce it like the name Ron, but I don't speak Japanese, so.
Okay. Yeah. This looks like a good movie.
It's got
I see
great
that. It is
cinematography and
wow.
like costume design.
Japanese post-war cinema is very famous for its good cinematography.
Yes. I mean, this movie like looks gorgeous. And it's got great like costume. It was nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards. It won for costume design. It was Kurosawa's, I think, only nomination for Best Director, which is insane. But yeah, good ass film. We're gonna be talking about it.
Oh yeah, maybe we should just pivot in the next like 3 months. We only talk about like pre-1990 Japanese cinema.
Honestly, I'd be so down because that is my. I don't like it when people use the word autistic about something. I think it's just like a stupid phrase. But that I am autistic about Japanese cinema.
Have you seen Rashomon?
Yes.
Yeah, based baller movie. There's a couple. I did a lot of Japanese post-war cinema in the film class that I took in high school. I think that was probably my favorite.
Oh, I forgot you went to like a bougie high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a film class.
Jesus. I mean, we technically did have like an AV club thing, like student news thing. All right, 1 million subscriber special. I've shown Cylinder. I found an old external drive in the depths of my fucking desk filing cabinet nightmare pit that I've mentioned a few times on the show.
Oh no.
And while I found a drive with some of my old like videos that I made when I was in high school, which ranges from like Gmod skits to things that I made for like AV Club. So our 1 million subscriber goal, I'm gonna bring those out. Just put those on the channel.
I like that.
I will start actively sabotaging the channel once we start getting close to 1 million subs.
Okay, good to know. I'll have to just start putting out peak content somehow without your consent.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start advertising this through our personal YouTube channels, and I'm just going to like anti-advertise. Make a really well-respected personal YouTube channel. Say don't watch our collaborative effort.
Well, you know, if you do that, people are just going to subscribe.
Yeah, it's reverse psychology. Yeah.
Like there's a borderline between reverse psychology and doing something out of spite. Like some people know that that's not, like there's people humans as a species are creatures of hate and malicious intent.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with this.
And I think that's where we cut the episode.
Well, we got to do our ending bit.
Oh god, this stupid it's
Say like the line, said, Cylinder.
Like I said. Remember, kids, eat your vegetables.
And drive safe.
It just gets dumber.